DISMISSAL. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis is ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Find somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning. Oh, what a morning. Good afternoon and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in good spirits because, like I always say, another day above the dirt is always a blessing. Let us not forget that. Another day above the dirt is always a blessing. And I think that there are some people that, especially in the Jay-Z camp, that I'm sure are very thankful, I guess, for this wild, mind-blowing turn of events. I got to be honest. I am shooketh. Now, I didn't expect to come on this morning at all. In fact, I was this close to going live last night, really late at night, after hearing about all this stuff. But I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm taking a break. We're going to talk about this in the morning when I get some time. Okay? But this is some wild stuff. Crazy turn of events. And to me, the main question I have, well, I got a lot of questions. You know how inquisitive I am. But I am kind of curious about what this could be. What could this mean for the outcome of these other accusers and victims that have stepped forward? I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but that's just how I do. We're going to talk about all that and then some. We got to jump into this stuff. Okay. I will talk about everything in just a minute. Before we get into that, though, hit that like button down below, please. And thank you. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. If you are watching on those other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, please be sure to hit that follow button. Subscribe to my main channel here on YouTube. Go to my secondary channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Make sure you are subscribed over there. Please and thank you. Make sure you're subscribed, babies. All right? Make sure those notification bells are set to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because it's random. A lot of times it is all breaking news stuff. So please be sure to hit that notification bell. Of course, don't forget to hit that join button down below. Become a member. Support this channel if you can. If you want to support even further, go check out my Patreon. Go check out my locals. I'm on both. Also, let's not forget, I still have a sale going on right now on PascalMerch.com. 30% off of all holiday clothing right now as we speak. Go check it out. PascalMerch.com. And of course, I got that GoFundMe. I'm putting together a holiday special. Okay, we're in the middle of production right now. Got a couple really great things going on. It is pinned to the top of the chat right now. Thank you, Tipsy, for sharing that link. It is pinned to the top of the chat, or it's in the link down below if you're watching the replay. All right, for the replay crew, I appreciate you. If you want to support, hit that link down below and support if you can. All right, guys. Let's get into this. We're not going to be on forever this morning. Okay, this Saturday, we all want to do something. Today we all got errands to run. We all got things to do. We all got gutters to declutter. Okay, and clean out rooms and stuff to clean out. Kitchens to that dishes need to be washed and all that. So we're going to get straight into this information. As we already know, Jay-Z has been accused of some very unthinkable things. He's been added into one of these Jane Doe's lawsuits, at least one so far. Allegedly, they say that there is a John Doe accuser that is allegedly, I guess, just kind of on the verge of naming him as a co-defendant or co-conspirator with Diddy as well. But we haven't heard anything about that one as of yet, at least as far as the filming, and this is live, so the filming of this show right here. But it is very, very interesting nonetheless to hear this one with this particular Jane Doe. She claims that she was a little. She says that she went to Rockefeller Center, if I'm correct. But this is where the VMAs was happening in 2000. She met a chauffeur, limo driver that was outside of the event. She was trying to get, I guess she was trying to get in the backstage to hang out with all the celebrities of that time at the VMAs, but she couldn't get in. This limo driver said, "Hey, why don't you come back and you can come to this party? You're definitely a type that, Diddy's going to like." She says, "Sure." She goes back. She gets into this limo. She gets driven out to this lavish after party in this big white house where she signs an NDA, walks in, is given a drink, loses consciousness, wakes up, and is viciously attacked, not only by Diddy, but now she alleges that Jay-Z also did this horrific thing with Jay-Z in the room, and also with a celebrity, a female celebrity, only known as Celebrity B. Now, the whole world shook. We were shooketh when we found out about all this information. All of us. I mean, we were here. We were all clutching our pearls going, oh my God. And of course, there's been a lot of people that believe some people believe these allegations. Instantly, they're going, see, that's the truth. Told you, I've been telling you this man's a monster, so on and so forth. There's been a lot of that. A lot of everybody going, hey, it's been absolutely crazy. It's been absolutely shocking with all the allegations that have come out as of late. But now, new things have come down that I think shocked me, literally stopped me dead in my tracks yesterday. And last night, I was very busy. There was a lot going on. Checking out and covering a particular event that I'll be sharing with you guys for sure. In fact, I got a chance to interview Saucy Santana, of all people. That no matter, some of you guys may know who Saucy Santana is, and some of y'all might not. But I got a chance to meet Saucy Santana and got a chance to chop it up with them as well. And very, very interesting conversation. And I was doing some red carpet stuff and interviewing some people on the red carpet. It's that time of year. Let me just say that. It's that time of year. So there's a lot of interviews, a lot of red carpet interviews you guys are going to be seeing here very, very soon. But nonetheless, I'm in the middle of doing all these interviews. I'm talking to people, chopping it up, talking about things, whoop-de-woo. And then suddenly I look down at my phone and I see this. Y'all are sending me emails, DMing me, so on and so forth. Huge thing. Apparently, there was an interview by this actual Jane Doe. Yes. And in this interview, it's revealed that there were inconsistencies in her actual interview, which is interesting because in the lawsuit itself, it only says so much. I mean, it says a lot. It says a lot. But there's details that we don't hear about until we hear it in this interview. And see, this is the thing. I feel like, okay, before we look into this and all that, let me just say this really quick. All right. These are the moments where I'm like, hey, these are the moments when I'm like, all right, I appreciate when these particular people step forward. But then sometimes I'm like, no, this is not good. But then I feel like, yes, it is good. The reason why I say that is like I flip-flop. I go back and forth because a lot of times I'm like, maybe they should just let the courts do what they do. Let the trial or the case do what it needs to do. But for some odd reason, a lot of these particular situations get thrust out into the court of public opinion, gets thrust out into the streets, and the verdict has already been made in the streets, before it even is seen inside of a courtroom. So a lot of times it benefits, especially in this situation, it benefits for Jay-Z. And I'll explain why in just a little bit. But it is interesting when these accusers or these victims do step forward, and then suddenly, as soon as they do that interview, inconsistencies pop off. This is not good. Let me just say that. Because, of course, on the side of if they're lying, damn right, go ahead. Go ahead and expose that age. Go ahead and expose yourself. Because then we finally find out if you are actually telling the truth or not. Because instantly we're all going to sit there and go, wait a second, that timeline ain't timelining. The math ain't mathing there, baby. Could you go back and explain how you did this, this, and this? Because the math ain't mathing. And all the other people that are involved, some of those people are still alive. Can they corroborate your story as well? Wait a second, you tell me they can't? So you mean to tell me the inconsistencies are palpable, right? Right. And of course, at the end of the day, it goes, damn, all of us are sitting here. All of us are sitting here gunning, championing, cheerleading, defending every single last accuser or victim that ever files anything. And what sucks is that we always have to leave in the corner, on the corner of the table, that possibility that that accuser or victim is lying. I hate to say that. I hate that. But it's an actuality that we have to live in. But there are some things here that I still have questions on. And this is the reason why I bounce back and forth, because of the certain things we are going to be hearing in this particular video that make me wonder, well, could those things be a factor on why there's inconsistencies to her story? Could that be it? Do we allow that to be a factor in why she has inconsistencies in her story or not? Again, questions that I have. But before we go into this, because of course they're saying, the NBC sat down with her. She's saying that she's admitting, she acknowledges that there's inconsistencies in the allegations and even in the interview that she has with NBC. So we're going to talk about this. And this is absolutely crazy. We're going to take a look at the interview first. And I got to chop it up like crazy because it's NBC. All right, let me just say that really quick. We're going to get through this and we're going to talk about this thoroughly. So please ride with me. It's a short interview, but I have to be very careful because, you know, they out here, they flying around and they crazy out here. Okay. But I appreciate all y'all for being here. Real quick, let me grab these super chats here. Iman, thank you so much for the comment. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. And Gemini, thank you so much for the super chat. Unfortunately, no matter who comes forward, the media will try to make them a liar. I hope Busby releases all his taped evidence to internet. I will sit here and say this. I don't think that the media is trying to destroy or make this particular person, trying to paint this person as a liar. If they're coming up onto a show and they're agreeing to sit down with a reporter, interviewer, journalist, whatever you want to name them, and they come out with their story, and that particular interviewer or that journalist asks very viable questions, and they can't come back and rebuttal those questions or answer those questions with solid answers, that's on them, y'all. I'm sorry. That's on them. That's not on the interviewer. That's not on NBC. And I know some people are going to look at this and go, oh, Jay-Z done paid NBC to try to get this woman out here and expose that ass. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. I'm leaving everything on the table. Anything's possible. But at the same time, this woman came out. She is alleging to be this woman, this accuser, who happens to be Jane Doe, the Jane Doe that was a little at the time of this crime. And when they ask her questions, and she can't answer them fully, and that there's holes in her story, I mean, that is basically, you kind of have to leave that up to the court of public opinion and the courts to decide whether or not this is a solid, if this is worthy of a case, worthy of being seen inside of a courtroom or not. Then the other thing too, which we will be hearing in a second, Tony Busby, things that Tony Busby is saying, his response, which, it's no bueno. it's no bueno. Because at the end of the day, this makes the Busby law firm look really bad. Because as soon as you sprinkle just even an iota, little sprinkle of doubt in the court of public opinion, you don't think that can spread and destroy this particular Jane Doe's case and what she's trying to say? Real talk. This is not good, in my personal opinion. Not only just for Jane Doe, but also for Mr. Busby, Tony Busby, and his name, his reputation is now literally hanging at the balance now, because remember, he's also representing a gang of lawsuits, a gang of victims and accusers. Let's not forget that too. This is not the time to be falling on your face. This is not the time. Well, we're going to talk about all that and then some right now. We're going to get straight into it. But before we get into it, please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. I see a bunch of y'all in here. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to get through. Hit that like button down below. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe, baby. We got to talk about this. This is not good. This is not good. And I don't blame. If Jay-Z is out here doing cartwheels right now, or at least trying to, because he up there in age, okay? And if he could still do a cartwheel, I'd be impressed. I wouldn't be surprised. And I don't blame him for sitting here and doing victory laps right now, holding Rock Nation flags and going, yeah, I beat the record. Whatever the hell it is, the track stars, they're running with the flag and all that. I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised if he's out here going, yeah, Beyonce, high five, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I would not be surprised. Let's get into this. All right. Don't forget to hit that like button down below, please, and thank you, baby.
Always advocate for yourself and be a voice for yourself. You should never let what somebody else did run your life.
A 38-year-old mother from Alabama who has filed a lawsuit accusing Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z of raping her when she was 13 years old is speaking out to NBC News for the first time. She asked us not to reveal her identity.
What made you want to come forward and talk today?
Because I think that I've been quiet long enough about what I've been through, and it's been hard enough to be quiet. But it's a chapter of my life that I'd like to close.
Okay. Now, I get it. If you are somebody who has endured some serious things, had some unbelievable experiences that are just, I can't even imagine. Yes, at some point, if you truly believe that particular person is successful and has, rose to a certain level of success, but you are an actual victim of that monster, yeah, I don't blame him. Step forward. In fact, I implore every last one of y'all who have ever been a victim, please speak out, step forward, say your story. Hopefully it wasn't at the hands of Diddy, but at the same time, if it was, step out, speak. But at the same time, This goes off the rails here in a second.
An NBC News review of her account found inconsistencies with her allegations. She says that she went to the MTV Video Music Awards in 2000 to catch a glimpse of her favorite celebrities.
You weren't scared to be all alone?
No, with having autism is like feeling like you live your life in a shatterproof juggle ball. The world's on fire. The fire is inside the ball with you, but there's no way for you to get out.
Okay, hold on. Now, I am kind of curious about this. And yeah, she does. Somebody said she sounds scared. I mean, I'd be scared too if I'm talking about this, no matter what. If I was a silhouette and they changed my voice, I'd still be a little nervous for sure. Okay. But there's something about this. Hold on. Because the interviewer asks, this reporter asks, were you scared? Were you, and she didn't answer the question. She answered the question with something, with talking about how she has autism. So I'm going to replay that one more again, because I want us to hear that one more time. Because, yeah, I'm curious.
No.
You weren't scared to be all alone?
No, with having autism is like feeling like you live your life in a shatterproof juggle ball. The world's on fire. The fire is inside the ball with you, but there's no way for you to get out.
Okay. But and you heard that too, which is very interesting that she says it's like, having autism is like being in this shatterproof ball. Inside the ball, you're inside the ball, and in that ball, it's on fire, and there's no way of you getting out. Now, the way I interpret that, because I'm sure it can be interpreted so many different ways, but in my personal opinion, it sounds like she's saying that she's always on alert. There's always something to be worried about. But she did say no in the very beginning. Weren't you scared? And she said no. The thing about autism is that it seems like she's always on alert. So she's always concerned, or there's always a reason to be a little timid, it seems like to me. But the autism is a very important piece in here, I think, as well. Okay. So let me just say that while we continue. So she didn't really answer the question, but then it seems like she did. But I leave that question up to you guys. Is my interpretation right? Or do you think she is saying something different there? I take it as she's always on alert. She's always worried. She's always scared. There's always something to be timid about. But I leave that up to you. Did I interpret it right or wrong? Continue.
In addition to having autism, the woman says she suffered a head injury. The night of the 2000s VMAs, she says a friend drove her.
Hold on. There's a lot they're saying right there. She says right there that she's autistic and that she had a head injury. Now, I asked in the very beginning of the show, that's a very big factor, I think. The fact that she is autistic. I think that's a very big piece. Now, some of y'all might look at that and go, that doesn't mean a damn thing. That doesn't change a damn thing. But it could. Maybe there are certain, and of course, she's also suffered some sort of head injury. So it does make you wonder, could the head injury and the autism be a factor here? Could it? We don't know where she lies on the spectrum as well. Let's not forget that too. All right. All we know is that she has autism and that she suffered a head injury. So there could be things that she has that have been a little jostled up in her own mind. That's a possibility. Maybe what she went through really did happen, but maybe it wasn't Jay-Z. Maybe it was just Diddy, or maybe it was a white party or a party at a White House that has nothing to do with Diddy or Jay-Z. All I'm saying is the possibilities are endless here, which brings in a lot of doubt and could possibly have something like this thrown out the window, not because of her having autism or having this head injury. I'm just saying the inconsistencies that we're about to stumble upon here in about 2 seconds, you're going to see for yourself, oh my damn, there's a lot of things that just don't make no damn sense at all. So let's continue. And also, let me remind you, she was 13 years old at this time. This was 2000, 24 whole years ago, 2 whole decades ago. So memory could get a little wonky, but I'm telling you right now, every person I've ever known that has ever suffered some sort of trauma, from S crimes all the way to seeing crimes or just tragedy in their faces, they remember it like it was the back of their hand. They remember every nuanced detail like it's the back of their hand, and they will still talk about it 60 years later like it was yesterday. So that's the only thing. That's the only little bit of pushback that I see with this whole situation. But let's continue. I mean, there's a lot of pushback that I have, but you see what I'm saying, okay? Like I said, I'm not sitting here saying that I don't believe this woman. I'm not saying that I do believe this woman. All I know is that there is a little bit of this. There's red flags. And it's about to start going right about now.
Autism, the woman says she suffered a head injury. The night of the 2000s VMAs, she says a friend drove her from Rochester, New York to Manhattan, a more than 5-hour drive.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. First off, let me just say this really quick. All right. You are 13. You drove your friend out of nowhere, said, yeah, I got time. I got time to drive you 5 hours out to New York City and drop your butt off in the middle of Manhattan so that you can hopefully walk in to the backstage of the VMAs. 5 hours, a 5-hour drive. You're 13 years old, girl. 13 years old. You're telling me she gonna be in a car for 5 hours and Pops ain't gonna be like, where's my daughter? Mama ain't gonna go, oh, where's my child? None of them? 5 whole hours. That's 10 hours round trip, baby. 10-hour round trip. Not once you're worried about. That's a whole day. That's a whole day. Again, your daddy, mama ain't gonna sit there and go, wait a second, where's my daughter? She ain't been here all day. She been gone. 5 hours, y'all. That's quite a drive. That's more than half a day of work. Now, I know, the kid said plausible. Yeah, it's plausible. It's plausible if you aren't a doting parent that isn't concerned about the whereabouts of your child. But if you have a child, with all due respect, you have a child who is not of age, has autism as well. Come on now. Come on. 5 hours, you're not knowing where they are for 5+ hours? That seems a little bit odd, right? Don't you think? I'm just asking the questions, y'all. Like I said, it just doesn't make sense that this friend would be like, yeah, I'll drive you. 5 whole hours later, you're in New York City and that's the other thing, Natasha B. Yeah. VMAs was on a school night. So you're telling me, because usually they're on like a Sunday, right? So you're getting ready for the next day. So explain that. The math ain't mathin'. But we're going to continue on. We're going to continue on. It just doesn't make sense. And this is just the tip of the iceberg here, guys.
Her attorney provided NBC News with the name of the friend who has since died. The woman says she spoke to Combs's limo driver who offered her a ride to an after party.
I stumbled upon Diddy's driver who told me that I was exactly what Diddy was looking for.
What did you think when he said that to you?
I thought it meant that I was just pretty.
She went to a White House, she says, where she spoke to musicians Benji Madden and his brother.
I'm talking to Benji Madden about his tattoo because, I have about his tattoo that's the Last Supper because I have a religious background. So it was just something to talk about.
In a statement to NBC News, a representative of the Maddens confirmed that they did not attend the 2000 VMAs and that they were on tour in the Midwest at the time.
Okay. Respectfully, let's talk about this. So she says she went to the thing. The friend, by the way, who dropped her off is no longer here. May they rest in peace. But then she says she went into this, the limo driver said, oh, yeah. They're going to really like you, like your look. They're going to really like your type. So she gets in this car, gets driven out into the boonies to this big white house where this party is going down. She talks with these two individuals, or she talks to one of the Maddens, and she says she specifically remembers talking to one of them about a tattoo of the Last Supper on his forearm. Now, let me tell you this. She could have had that conversation with them on a completely different day, in a completely different situation that has nothing to do with this crime. But clearly, the brothers, their representative, stepped forward and said, nah, we weren't there. We were on tour. There's no way you could put us in the same place as Diddy and for us to have a conversation with this Jane Doe when we were on the road in the Midwest at that time. There's no way. You also got to remember, there's plenty of photos of these guys where they show I'm sure the tattoo is just out there blazing in photos and whatnot. You can have, you could get that information, lock that in your brain, and then suddenly it's, oh yeah, I met that guy, and so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. But like I said, there already are way too many. We're not even in the whole damn thing yet. We only dipped our toe in this mother loving pool, and there's already holes in this mug. Massive holes in this mug. Man. Hold on. Let me grab this too. Lil Patty just said this, so I'm going to grab it because you've repeated it a couple times. Autism can also affect memory. My grandson is autistic. It affects his memory. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And it could. That's why I asked, could that be a factor in this situation? But instead of what actually happened to her, maybe the thing actually did happen to her, but it wasn't Jay-Z and Diddy and female celebrity B, that it was 3 random people that did this to her. That is a possibility. And let's be real. If that is, and she's got the story wrong and her mind's playing tricks on her, I just hope that the team, she's able to report that and get the proper investigation underway to find out who those people are. Maybe it's talking to the right psychiatrist. Maybe it's talking to the right people that can maybe dismantle what is going on in her mind so that they can cut away some of these layers and really get down to the truth of what actually happened. Because it could be an absolute 110% fabrication that's just in her mind, or it could have actually happened, but it's not the people that she's been naming. That maybe in her mind, because of the trauma, she's put in Diddy, Jay-Z, and female celebrity B to soften the blow maybe in her own mind. That's possible too. I know that sounds crazy, but that's a possibility too. And so I urge her, and I hope she does, look into that more, dive into that, and hopefully get those questions answered, because I don't know if this is really, I don't know if she really is a victim. After hearing all these holes, to me, I don't know. I just don't know. Let's continue on, though. Let's continue on. She talks about talking to the twins. She talks about talking to one specifically about his tattoo on his forearm. He says, nah, we were on tour in the Midwest at that time. We were nowhere near the Diddy party.
At the after party, she says she had a drink that made her feel woozy. Then she says Combs and Carter took turns raping her while a female celebrity watched.
JC comes in and rapes me. Well, he at that point, I was fighting, trying to get away from him, and he put his hand over my mouth and told me to, stop it, cut.
She says she ran to a gas station where she called her father, who picked her up and drove her home.
Okay, I got to pause right there because there's a couple things before we go into the father's statement that we need to talk about. Okay, I cut through a little bit of that because it gets a little spicy and, it gets terrible. And she's just giving details of what she experienced from Jay-Z specifically. So moving forward, this part is very important too. In the documents, she says that she's viciously attacked by Diddy, then Jay-Z. There's a female celebrity that's in the room watching everything that goes down. She's under the influence. Suddenly, she, I don't know, maybe finds her legs again, because apparently when she drank this stuff, it made her feel woozy, it made her feel dizzy, losing consciousness, the whole nine. Then she finds her legs. She grabs her clothing and she busts out the house. She runs down the street. By the way, she runs out into the street in the middle of nowhere, out of this big white house. She says in the documents, I can recall this like it was yesterday. She said that she walked before she even got out of the house. It was like she ran through a sea of people, celebrities, etc., that were just paying no mind to her as she bust out the front door of this White House, running into the streets. She runs down one of a random road to find a gas station. She walks into that gas station, asking the clerk to use the phone. The clerk clearly sees that she is in distress, allows her to use the phone. Here's the thing. Where's the clerk? Can the clerk corroborate this story as well? Where is the clerk? She uses the phone, though. She calls Daddy, who, by the way, is 5 hours away. I repeat, Daddy is 5 hours away. 5 hours away from where she left. She snuck out of the house, I'm assuming, got a ride from a friend down to New York so she could see her VMA and see some of her celebrity stars her icons. She left 5 hours away, called Papa up and said, I needed to pick me up. Yes, I lied to you. I ran out. So Daddy had to drive 5 hours down to go pick her up. Let me tell you something. If I am a father of a 13-year-old girl that calls me, doesn't matter if she's autistic or not, she calls me out the blue in the middle of my sleep or in the middle of watching a football game or whatever. And she goes, yeah, Dad, I'm in New York. I'm 5 hours away. Sorry, I lied to you. And I'm going, the hell? First off, I'm losing my mind. First off, she gonna hear my 2 cents before I even dish out the 2 cents. She gonna know she in trouble, right? Then on top of it, You are 5 hours away? Holy damn. You jump in the car, you drive, you're fuming for 5 hours, picking her up. Then you pick her up. Then you got to turn around and drive 5 hours back. You're not fuming? You're not angry? Oh, let's not forget. Aren't you going to remember that moment? Aren't you going to remember that? I'm not going to forget that for the life of me. Man, I'll be like, man, even though she grown, I'll be like, I remember that time this girl ran out 13 years old without telling me. I had no clue she was gone. And I had to drive 10 hours round trip to pick her up. Regardless, doesn't matter if he knows. Let's not forget, okay? If there was a possibility of her saying something terrible, some crimes happened to her, you don't think he's going to remember that too? Let alone she snuck out, didn't know she was gone. I drove 5 hours out of my way to pick her up, drove 5 hours back home. That is a story that's forever locked in my brain. Forever. Because I'm sitting there going, that was the longest she was grounded. That was the longest I've ever grounded my child because of that particular moment. Yeah, she got real crafty. Didn't know how she did it, but she did it. Whole other city, whole other part of the state. 5 hours away. I cannot believe she did that. Unbelievable. I'm sharing that over drinks with my friends. I'm talking about that till I die. I'm remembering that till I die. See what the daddy says. See what the daddy says right about now. You gonna hear him. See what he says.
We rode home in silence. He didn't ask me what happened. He didn't ask me what I did or where I was.
In an interview with NBC News, her father said he could not verify the claims. Quote, I felt like I would remember that, and I don't. I have a lot going on, but I mean, that's something that would definitely stick in my mind, he said.
Hold on. Let's roll that back. Roll it back. Roll it back. Run it back. Take a look at that. And you know for a fact, this is I'm sure, the apple of his eye. His baby girl. His sweet, sweet little girl. And he ain't even dying on the hill. He ain't even next to the hill. He says, I feel like I would remember that. Damn right I would remember. Are you kidding me? He picks her up and they didn't have a conversation on the way home. We having 7 conversations on the way home. Do you understand that? Do you understand? I'm telling that girl while we're driving, you are so grounded, you have no idea. You have no idea how angry I am. She gonna know. She gonna learn that day. She gonna learn for 5 hours straight because you made me buy gas, drive my ass all the way down here to pick your ass up, turn around, buy maybe a tank or two of gas to take your ass home. Man, we gonna have conversations, baby. You gonna learn you made a mistake. But he doesn't remember this. He don't remember this at all. For real though? Make that make sense. Also, let's not forget, Daddy, wouldn't he hold it down for his daughter? Wouldn't he? But he's saying, I don't remember anything. I don't remember anything. I have a lot going on, but I mean, that's something that would definitely stick in my mind. Absolutely. As any parent, you're never going to forget that. The one time your 13-year-old child ran off without you knowing to a whole other city 5 hours away, and then that you had to go pick him up. Let's take the crime off the table for a second. And you still have no idea what she went through. And damn right, I can see him being so mad he didn't want to talk to her at all. He's like, we're going to sit here in silence because I got nothing to say to you right now. How dare you do what you did? This is ridiculous, right? I could see that too. But the fact that he doesn't remember this, unless he has a head injury as well, or maybe he has some mental health issues as well, or that he's autistic or something like that, maybe that's a possibility. But at the same time, wow, he's not even standing 10 toes down for his own daughter on these allegations. He's like, no, the math ain't mathing because I don't remember doing any of that. Hamburger, y'all. Hamburger. Whoops.
Lot going on, but I mean, that's something that would definitely stick in my mind, he said. When we asked the woman about the contradictions in a phone interview on Friday, she said that she stands by her statements. I have made some mistakes, she said. Honestly, what is the clearest is what happened to me.
Okay, so she says, honestly, the clearest is what happened to me. Okay. Sure. And that's fine. But are we sure that what happened to you is exactly what happened to you? Again, those are massive inconsistencies. Again, I'm not sitting here saying that I'm just putting out the questions. All right, don't at me. I'm just asking the questions that everybody else is asking as well. As soon as you see inconsistencies like this, you go, you cock your head sideways and go, wait, huh? Make that make sense. It just doesn't make sense to me. Those inconsistencies definitely jump out like crazy. But then it does make you wonder what would make Tony Busby or anybody else step forward and go, yeah, that Jane Doe story, I believe it 100%. Did he properly vet this particular client? In fact, all of the clients? That's a question that I'm actually kind of curious about now, because something like this hurts other victim stories. This hurts other accusers' claims and other accusers' lawsuits. And it's very frustrating. Let's continue on.
The inconsistencies in her account of an incident alleged to have happened 24 years ago does not necessarily mean the allegations are false. The accuser's attorney, Tony Busby, said, because we have
Now, again, that's true. Just because what she went through has inconsistencies does not mean it didn't happen, but it also could mean that it did not happen that these guys are not the ones that made this happen to her. There could be inconsistencies in the whole storyline, not only just in the distance and the father picking up and all that stuff. There could be inconsistencies on the persons that were in the room causing this particular crime. That's all I'm trying to say here. And that's what sucks, because we want to believe these victims. We want to believe these accusers. But this is not good. And it's definitely not good for Busby. The only thing he's got is his rep. Yes, this starts with this. A is absolutely right here. All this is doing is drizzling that reasonable doubt sauce all over that steak. I'm just saying. And now, court of public opinion is swayed. Most definitely. Hence the reason why right now, Jay-Z is basically doing a victory lap right now. He's doing cartwheels. Because right now, reasonable doubt now dropped like a bomb like Hiroshima up in this mother lover. Okay? Let's continue on, though. This is crazy. Crazy.
The accuser's attorney, Tony Busby, said, because we have interrogated her intensely, she has even agreed to submit to a polygraph. This is...
Sorry, I got to pause that. I'm sorry. I will say this. It's almost like, I cheated on you. I cheated, but I effed her, but I make love to you. Don't give me a break with the whole thing. Like, we interrogated her. Yeah. But we see that there's inconsistencies, but she's willing to do a polygraph. She's willing to take a poly. Okay, guys? She's willing to take a poly. It doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter. As soon as these inconsistencies are exposed, nothing matters now. Nothing matters. You can do a poly. What gonna change? Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. Think about this, and this is going to sound crazy. Okay, we're going to take a little bit of. We're going to go off on the off the rails on a crazy train. Okay, we're going to go on crazy train just for a second. Just ride with me. Okay, this is just speculation, and I don't know if this is entirely true. Just ride with me on this thought. What if she really truly believes in her mind, that these three did these things? Female celebrity B, who could be anybody. Jay-Z and Diddy. In her mind, she truly believes, without a shadow of a doubt, that Diddy and Jay-Z did this thing and did these unthinkable things. So that's what's implanted in her mind. It's done. Done, done, done. Not done, 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 but you know what I mean. Just done. She does a poly. She truly believes what she has put in her mind. Let's just say it's all fabrication. She does a poly. She ain't lying. If in her mind she believes it to be true, she could pass a poly with that. Think about that. Think about that for a second. If in her mind she truly believes whatever's been dressed up in her mind to be true, then when she's speaking, she's truly speaking from truth in her own mind. So if she does do a polygraph, yeah, she passed. If she truly believes in her mind that she was attacked by these three individuals or these two while celebrity B was in the corner watching this whole thing, if she truly believes it, then it will not be a lie. So is that polygraph even viable after that? Think about that for a second, guys. Now, I know that sounds insane. Maybe that makes sense to you. Maybe it doesn't. But think about that. Because there's plenty of people in this world that have fabricated things in their minds that actually believe them to be true. I shook this president's hand, and that's just what's in their brain. They truly believe it because they've acted it out in their own mind. So if that is her truth, mentally, she does a polygraph, she ain't gonna be nervous. She ain't gonna be scared. She's gonna be sitting there going, boom, yeah, this is exactly what happened, and this is what he did. That's what they both did. I believe it, and that's what happened. She gonna pass with flying colors. So what does that do? Is that viable? What else? You need smoking gun evidence now. You need that smoking gun evidence. Because again, reasonable doubt now has just ripped through this whole case. That polygraph will mean nothing at this point. Remember that. You don't think that Jay-Z's team is going to sit there and say exactly what I just said just now about the polygraph and about her possible mental health issues? Let's not forget she had a head trauma, head injury. She suffered a head injury. That could also play a factor depending on what that trauma to her head was. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying. I should have said all that like Dr. Phil. You probably would have believed and understood it a lot more and taken what I said seriously. Now when the head trauma, and y'all be like, oh yeah, absolutely. I agree. I just don't think that the polygraph will even work. And to me, this feels like him kind of moving the goalpost. Or, after the fact. We're going to give her a polygraph. No, but we got the polygraph. But the polygraph, it's not going to change anything, guys. It's not. Reasonable doubt. Rip through this doggone case like a madman. Let's continue on. I'm gonna let this play out without interrupting. But I'm telling you right now, polygraph don't mean a damn thing, in my personal opinion.
Attorney Tony Busby said, because we have interrogated her intensely, she has even agreed to submit to a polygraph. This has been extremely distressing for her, to the point she has experienced seizures and had to seek medical treatment due to the stress.
Hold on. Okay. So she's extremely, this is distressing for her. Of course. Okay. To the point where she's experiencing seizures and had to seek medical treatment due to the stress. Okay. I get that. That is all. Like, of course. Of course. I can only imagine what this woman's going through. And you know, God bless her, God be with her, all that stuff. But at the same time, that doesn't change the opinion, the court of public opinion. It doesn't. Once this is out and that there are inconsistencies and that she acknowledges that there are inconsistencies, the court of public opinion is they're going to make a meal out of what she said. They're going to make a meal out of her. Doesn't matter if she experiences seizures and had to seek medical treatment due to the stress. It doesn't change anything, guys. Unfortunately, it doesn't. I wish it was different, but we don't live in that world now, do we? So this is unfortunate. And this, to me, is a very weak sauce response to this whole thing, in my personal opinion. Like, Tony Busby, you didn't properly vet your people. You didn't properly vet this client.
In a statement to NBC News, Sean.
Oh, and Diddy Jay-Z got things to say. He most definitely do. Sure.
Carter said this incident didn't happen, and yet he filed it in court and doubled down in the press. True justice is coming. We fight from victory, not for victory.
I'm telling you right now. Oh, this whole thing's a mess. Do you realize how much of a mess this is? And yeah, that's him. That's him doing a victory lap. This incident didn't happen, and yet he filed it in court and doubled down in the press. Yeah, Tony Busby most definitely did. True justice is coming. We fight from victory, not for victory. We're going to look at the full statement here in just a minute, but Jay-Z is he's running that victory lap right now. He's like, say more. Okay. Let's go.
Justice is coming. We fight from victory, not for victory.
Is any part of you scared coming out against such powerful people?
Yeah, I'm scared of what could happen, but I'm more afraid of letting it eat me alive from the inside out than I am of, being chastised by their fans.
You know what? My heart hurts. Because if she truly believes this, and let's just say this is not true. Let's just say this is all just something that has been fabricated in her mind. My heart hurts for her. My heart hurts for her as well if she truly is a victim. And holes are being poked out of because of the inconsistencies that she is saying right now, which is really sad. Think about this, guys. We have had a lot of people coming forward that have been speaking out. Some of them now we have been finding out. I'm not talking about this particular interview, but we found out in other interviews of people taking stories that weren't theirs. We have had other people that have said certain things that are very questionable, or you can see some of them have been, dealing with things, maybe self-medicating or under the influence of some sort, which of course can kind of tarnish the validity of what they're saying and what they've experienced or what they've seen. It's very unfortunate. And now we got another situation right here where we have another victim that is stepping forward She suffered head trauma. She is autistic. And there are some serious, in my personal opinion, severe holes and inconsistencies in her story, which will make it very hard for people to look at her story and go, this is true. I believe this 100%. And no, Troy, I am not talking about Jaguar. Not at all. Not at all. But moving on, I think it's really important that there, I'm just praying for every single last one of these people. Real talk. Every single last one. Because honestly, this makes me question a lot of different things. It just does. Because we're all intelligent individuals. We are all smart. We're all geniuses in our own right. We all think independently and critically for our own selves. When you start getting information and you start having it dropped in your lap like this, it instantly, if you are a critical thinker, makes you go, wait a second, hold on. That ain't making sense. That part ain't making sense. How are these two connected? Instantly. It doesn't mean that you're sitting there saying, oh, that person is a liar and she's, may she burn in the fiery pits of hell. No, not at all. Not at all. But it does make you ask questions and wanting to know exactly what went down. But then, of course, there is a part of you that says, hey, how much of this is actually true? How much of this is just a fabrication? Where is the line of fabrication? Where does the fabrication end and where does the reality meet? That's what I'd like to know. Because again, this could very well be a woman that went through some serious trauma. Serious trauma. But in her mind, those particular people are Diddy and Jay-Z and female celebrity B. That's just what she has in her mind. That could be due to the autism. That could be due to the head trauma that she went through. All those things are factors. Important factors, especially when you are trying to say individuals, specific, big, huge names were the people that enacted and did these type of crimes to you. That is massive. But now she's out. NBC, I don't know if NBC got paid by Jay-Z. I do not know. I don't know. And I know that's a theory that's floating out here as well. I can't answer that question. All I know is they somehow got this Jane Doe to speak out and tell all of us her story with her own words. She spoke. She put the information out there. It's the interview, the reporter, the journalist's job to be a journalist and ask the questions. Does that mean that they got paid off? I don't know. You never know. Jay-Z might have a whole a huge stock in NBC. You never know. He's a billionaire. Anything's possible. But at the same time, this woman stepped forward and spoke out. Freely. And there's inconsistencies right here. Again, this is not the time to be putting out black inconsistencies in your stories. Not at all. Not at all. This is not the time. Okay. But let me continue on. Let's play a little. There's like a tiny bit left here. All right. Let's play the rest.
All right, Chloe Malas joining us now live. Chloe, we just heard a very strongly worded statement from Jay-Z. What else are you hearing from him and his team?
Yes, so his attorney said that they're going to ask the court to, quote, dismiss this frivolous case. And also moments ago, we heard from Diddy's legal team, and I want to read you some of what they said. They said, quote, this is the beginning of the end of this shameful money grab. And remember, he remains behind bars at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, and his criminal trial begins in May.
Okay. And of course Diddy's like, oh, this is the end of this money grab type thing. Okay. But Diddy, of course, is going to sit there and go, yeah, and Saying what? That's exactly what he's doing. Yeah, what Jay-Z said. Yeah, I'm innocent too. Remember, I'm innocent too. Get out the way. I'm innocent too. We got you, Jay-Z, but I'm innocent too. You see? That's what he's doing right now. Real talk, that's what he's doing right now. We got things to look at here, though. All right? A statement from Rock Nation or from Jay-Z, because we definitely got to take a look at this, because damn. All right. And of course, do not forget, guys, hit that like button down below. Where we at with this? Because this is a tough one, y'all. This is not, oh, damn, what the hell? Hit the like button. Let's get it to 1K, guys. Hit the like button. Hit it. Crush it. Let's get it to 1K before the show's over, okay? Please and thank you. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe, baby. Subscribe. Because we talk about a lot of things on this show. As of late, it's been a lot of Diddy, but we talk about a lot of other things, okay? So please subscribe to this channel. Make sure you subscribe to the secondary channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Subscribe to both channels, please and thank you, all right? That'd be amazing. Now, 1K likes, let's get it. Now, let's hear what Jay-Z had to say. He had a few things to say. So let's take a look at what he's put on Rock Nation. So, today's investigative report proves that this quote unquote attorney, Busby, filed a false complaint against me in the pursuit of money and fame. This incident didn't happen, and yet he failed. And yet he filed it in court and doubled down in the press. True justice is coming. We fight from victory, not for victory. This was over before it began. This 1-800 lawyer doesn't realize it yet, but soon. Jay-Z mad. And I'm going to tell you what. Real talk. Wouldn't you be mad if you were accused of something that you believe you didn't do? I'd be livid. I mean, I wouldn't put out the statement that he put out, the first statement he made. That's just my personal opinion. But I'd be mad. I think we'd all be mad. We'd all be like, what? But that's at the same time, innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. Just because her inconsistencies are there and they are palpable, that you can see those mother-loving holes in her story from mother-loving space, does not mean that she is lying. Doesn't automatically mean that her story isn't true. That is true. And that's what NBC also said. It's true. Doesn't mean that he didn't do it. It doesn't. But it also doesn't mean that he did do it too. Okay? Let's not forget that too. Then this is from his lawyer as well. Let's take a look at this. Okay. It is stunning that a lawyer would not only file such a serious complaint without proper vetting, but would make things worse by further peddling this false story in the press. We are asking the court to dismiss this frivolous case today, and we'll take up the matter of additional discipline for Mr. Busby and all the lawyers that filed the complaint. Uh-oh. That's not good. That's no bueno. That's not good. Now, remember, we saw a video yesterday. We talked about this. We saw a video yesterday where the 3 new male accusers stepped forward. There's 3 new male accusers. One of them happens to be a former employee, an actual personal assistant of Diddy's. Okay. That particular lawyer talked about his vetting process. He said, hey, I had 60 different calls, 60 different potential clients stating that they were victims of Diddy in some various ways. He chose out of those 60, 3 of them. 3 accusers said, hey, those 3 are good enough for me. I'm with that. So those guys, those cases, and their timelines and what they talk about are consistent to what we know about Diddy. But the thing is, and I said this on yesterday's show too, that you have to keep in mind, You don't think any of these people are breaking these things down, hearing about these consistencies of how Diddy maneuvers out here, allegedly maneuvers out here, plying people with substances and then attacking them in such a fashion? You don't think any of these people are really breaking these things down, having them in the back of their minds, and then adding that to their story so that their story becomes a little bit more legitimate? It's just something to think about. So then how do you know for sure that that is a person that is 110% telling the truth? And I feel like that is a question that still needs to be answered, because I feel like every lawyer could easily just straight up, like I said, straight up just go, yeah, I'll take yours, and I'll take yours, and I'll take your case, and I'll take your case, and I'll take your case, because you're saying the same timeline as everybody else. You walk into a room, you're given a drink, you pass out, you wake up, and you're getting attacked. Boom. Perfect. I'll take you as a client. How's that? Is that enough? What else are you doing in the vetting process to make sure that those clients are absolutely telling the truth? That's the same thing I'm wondering about Tony Busby. Now, even more, because this particular lawsuit has a lot of holes in them. There's a possibility that this Jane Doe is not telling the full truth. And if that's the case, what are the possibilities of this actually applying to the rest of the 120 lawsuits that are coming out of the Busby law firm right now to date? Think about it. Because if they all say the same thing, pretty much, what are you doing to properly vet your clients to make sure that what they're saying is the truth? And also, you really think that all 120, you have enough time for all 120 of them? All 120 clients? Is your law firm that massive that they can get through 120 lawsuits on top of the other lawsuits that you guys are working on and representing that are completely different lawsuits that are out here that you're probably representing and going in and out of court for as well? How are you able to properly balance the workload? I'm just asking, especially now when we hear this one, which is very like that. This particular Jane Doe, the allegations were scathing, unbelievable. She says she was a little when this whole thing went down. Now she does an interview and none of it is making any sense. So again, it does make you wonder about that, but we're going to continue on. Like I said, it just, these are the unfortunate situations that happen. These are the moments when you're like, damn, because you want to sit on the side of believing everyone, being on the side of trying to, see them get the justice that they rightfully deserve and so on. But then when you see something like this, it's like, that's disheartening. This is disheartening because it doesn't help the situation. All right. Now, again, maybe, okay, Annie Mac, okay, Pascal, there ain't no vetting process. Come on, bro. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt, but man, okay. I mean, maybe there is. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but I am kind of curious as to what else do they do? Do they just take the person's word for it and just run with it? Again, these are some serious allegations. And then here's the thing, though. If your job is to actually represent clients and you truly believe your client, does that automatically mean that you are on the chopping block for disbarment if you truly believe your client? If you look at the situation and believe that your client is actually telling the truth to you, your job is to present them, right? That's their job, right? So it does make you wonder, does he suddenly get in trouble solely because of him representing somebody who could potentially be lying. But like I said, it is something that I am quite curious about. But I'm still wondering how they were able, how they've been, or what they are going to do as far as vetting, properly vetting these particular, all of them, all of those lawsuits. And I know that there are people that have left the law firm, have left Busby, because they're like, he's so overwhelmed. I don't feel like I'm number one. I don't feel like he's giving me the focus and the attention that I believe I rightfully deserve in this particular situation, with this particular crime, with this particular lawsuit, and so on. Some people have walked and found other legal representation because he's overwhelmed, for sure. 120, that's a lot of people. And have we seen any more lawsuits from Tony Busby as of late? New ones? I'm not talking about him putting Jay-Z's name out here. I'm talking about others. We haven't really. So, interesting. But there was a filing that was made late last night. On behalf of Jay-Z, I'm sorry. And I want to share that too. Hold on, guys. Sorry. Yeah, this is nuts. This whole situation is nuts. And I mean, you know what? Actually, I'm going to do this too. Let me put up a poll. Let's do a poll, because I know you guys love polls. But let me do this real quick. Come on. Okay. I just put up a poll. There might be some typos, but whatever. So, do you think Jane Doe is lying? It's pinned to the top of the chat. Take your ass up to the poll. Put in your verdict. Let me know your thoughts. Okay. But we do have some paperwork. And this is after the NBC report, that NBC interview that we just saw was dropped. So now they trying to get rid of this. This is basically, hey, we are trying to get this thing dropped because she's clearly lying. That's what they're saying. That the things that she's saying is messed up and is wrong, and this should not even be seen the light of day. So let's take a look at this. So to Judge Torres, we write to the court on behalf of our client, Jay-Z, Sean Carter, on a matter of extraordinary and grave importance for the integrity of the proceedings in the above captioned case. Today, at 7:27 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, NBC News reported on an interview that its reporters conducted with the anonymous plaintiff in this case. The interview outs plaintiff's allegations for what they are: a sham. Basic facts in her narrative, the who, what, when, where, are wrong. She claims her father picked her up after this attack. Her own father denies that ever happened. She claims she spoke with Benji Madden at a party that night, but he was on tour in the Midwest at the time, forcing her to admit, quote unquote, I have made some mistakes. I may have made a mistake in identifying. She claims the attack took place at an after party at Mr. Combs' home. But photos that night show Diddy and Jay-Z at Lotus nightclub for the after party. Uh-oh. Whoa, that's a big deal. So they were at a completely different place, cabrones. When pressed, the plaintiff admitted that she was, quote unquote, guessing about key details, including the time it took to reach the venue. She admits she has no single corroborating witness over the last 24 years. In fact, one of them that would or could actually corroborate her story, they gone. They passed on. They gone. You know, and JR, oh my Lord. I was thinking the same thing in my mind because anything's possible nowadays. Everybody's coming out saying that they Jane Doe and they had this, that, and the third, and they really ain't. But J.R. Williams, you got a point. Pascal, do we really know for certain that was the woman who was the actual victim? I don't know. I'm hoping that NBC News did their due diligence and cross-reference and all that stuff to make sure that that person who was interviewed is absolutely that little for sure. But I feel like the law firm, Tony Busby, would have already come out saying, actually, guys, whoever you interviewed was not the Jane Doe that we have. That would have been massive. That would have been massive. And then it would make NBC look like Boo Boo the Fool. Absolutely. So I'm sure they did their due diligence. You're telling me that Tony Busby wouldn't sit there and go, did you talk to NBC? Did you talk to NBC News? You didn't, you know what I mean? You don't think he called up his Jane Doe, his client first and say, did you talk to NBC News? Without her sitting there going, yeah, I did. If she said, hell no, I didn't. Why? Then his response would have been different. Y'all talked to the wrong Jane Doe. And also, or you didn't even talk to the Jane Doe at all. You talked to somebody else. And then that would make NBC News look like an idiot. So I'm sure they did their due diligence. And you know for a fact Busby would have made a meal out of NBC if they were wrong. So, but let's continue on. That's a good question, though. Nowadays, we got to be careful. God, everybody out here saying that they are somebody that they ain't. So we got to be careful. These stunning revelations make clear that the complaint filed by plaintiff's attorney, Tony Busby, therefore had no factual basis whatsoever. Even Mr. Busby is walking back the complaint he put his name to, excusing these glaring inconsistencies by pointing the finger at the case being referred by another firm who allegedly vetted the story before sending it to them. That's the other problem. Tony Busby also had the audacity to sit there, indeed, and say, well, she was vetted somewhere else, and then she came to us. She was vetted somewhere else. They took the story. They sent us the case, and we decided to scoop it up and take it as our own. So now he also, in his statement as well, tries to push the blame to somebody else, to another firm, not even taking accountability for pushing this out. The heinous allegations against Jay-Z are patently false. The complaint filed by plaintiff's attorney, Busby, therefore, had no factual basis whatsoever. The heinous allegations against Mr. Carter are patently false. Well, I guess they just repeated that again. In light of those developments, it is now clear that Tony Busby signed the complaints and other filings in this case in violation of Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 11. Under that rule, an attorney who signs a document assumes, quote unquote, an affirmative duty to conduct a reasonable inquiry into the facts and the law before filing. So Business Guys Inc. versus Chromatic communications enters, I guess, ink, so on and so forth. Moving on. The attorney's signature, quote unquote, denotes merit in the filing and sends a message to the court, the district court, that this document is to be taken seriously. Plaintiffs may not file a complaint in this court without having a reasonable investigation of the facts. That's a big deal. It's a solid point. In addition, attorneys who learn after filing a complaint that the factual assertions are false must immediately withdraw the claims. A lawyer shall not bring or defend a proceeding or assert or controvert an issue therein unless there is a basis in law and fact for doing so that is not frivolous. Imposing Rule 11 sanctions from amended complaint that repeated allegation that lacked evidentiary support. Given today's revelations, Tony Busby almost certainly failed to undertake a reasonable inquiry into the facts before filing the complaint. He should never have brought the claims. So let's see, affirming sanctions order where plaintiff's complaint was entirely frivolous and was made as part of a conscious effort to harass the defendant. At minimum, he should withdraw them now. Allowing these claims to remain pending even a moment longer not only harms Mr. Carter, his family, his businesses, his employees, and his legacy, it also impairs the integrity of the judicial system, thwarts the pursuit of justice, and silences the voices of true victims. Furthermore, it appears that Mr. Busby has attempted to circumvent the authority of this court to enforce Rule 11 and associated obligations by declining to seek admission to this court before signing proceedings and other documents. Mr. Busby is not licensed to practice law in this court, and he has not sought, in parentheses, let alone obtained, admission pro hac vice, I don't know what that means. Yet, in the nearly 8 weeks since he initiated this proceeding, Mr. Busby has filed a complaint in this matter that was signed solely by him using a signature. Signed the amended complaint alongside other counsel that added Mr. Carter as a defendant, and noticed a motion for the plaintiff to proceed anonymously accompanied by a supporting brief and a declaration, once again signed only by him. Most recently, on December 10th, just 4 days ago, Mr. Busby filed a letter, which he also signed alone. And yet he's not supposed to be doing that, according to Spiro, according to these claims. Mr. Busby's failure to obtain admission to the bar of this court is a transparent attempt to circumvent the basic requirements of Rule 11 and the rules of professional conduct. Admission subjects an attorney to the jurisdiction of the court and to the sanctions for signing pleadings that are not grounded in the facts and the law. Mr. Busby thus appears to have strategically declined to seek admission in order to avoid sanctions for a complaint that he knew had no factual basis. Again, if this is true, if these claims are absolutely 110% true, then Tony Busby has some serious problems. He has some serious explaining to do. Okay? Serious explaining to do. Because if he's signing things that he shouldn't be signing, if he's putting things out that he shouldn't be putting out, this is not good. This is not good. Hold on. There's another piece. There's another page. So I want to. Busby is about to get buzzed. Okay, he about to get. Oof, this is not good. This is not good. Remember, not Diddy. Jay-Z said, "I'm gonna expose you for the snake that you are," kind of thing. He said, "I'm about to make your life a living hell." You put my name, you know what I mean? He is doing his own legal version of what Will Smith did to Chris Rock on the Oscar stage that night. Keep my name out your mouth, right? That's exactly what he's doing right now. Okay. All right. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. All right. Okay. All right. You want to put my name in your mouth? I'm about to make your life a living hell. You just made a big mistake, buddy. You just made a big mistake there, buddy. And I'm going to remind you of that as much as I can. In fact, I could possibly get you disbarred because you're doing things that you're not supposed to be doing. You're signing things in places that you shouldn't be signing without the proper representation for that particular state. The hell you doing out here, baby? Oh, you're doing some bad things. We're going to make your time on this earth now forever hell. And that's exactly what Jay-Z's doing now. You going to put my name in your mouth? Okay. Oh, okay. You about to learn today, though. You about to learn. Okay, you about to learn. Hold up. Let me get my lawyers on you real quick. And that's exactly what's happening. Holy God. Let's continue on. We got one last paragraph here. So, given these facts, Mr. Carter intends to file immediately a motion to strike the First Amendment complaint under rules 11C2 and 12F. He respectfully requests that the court shorten the filing deadline for that motion from 21 days to 1 day from the date of service in light of today's stunning public disclosures and the severe ongoing harm to Jay-Z's reputation. Again, they want this out. And then they also want Tony Busby to reap what he fully sowed, what they believe he sowed. This is not good for Tony Busby. Because again, if this goes down and things get dismissed in this manner and he starts getting, if there's a possibility of disbarment and all that, all of those lawsuits, every single last one of them, gone. They're going to have to start from ground zero. And do you really think that they're going to go and try to go through it all over again? I tell you what, they ain't. They are not. All right. I feel like a lot of them are going to be like, nah, I changed my mind. I really changed my mind. I don't know if I want to go through all this BS again. Something to think about, guys, because this is bad. This is very, very bad for Tony Busby. But let me continue on. Okay. So here it is. Let me share this with you because this is another. I just wanted to read the statement for you guys. I know it's a little bit backwards, but just ride with me, okay? But of course, she said, that she said in this thing that yes, there are inconsistencies in her story, okay? Especially we found out the father picking her up and he doesn't recall that at all. And I'm telling you right now, I would remember that till I died. Okay. Especially when you are just a little at that time and all that. I'm going to remember that. Like my child snuck out, went to a whole other city 5 hours away without me knowing. And then I had to go and drive in the middle of the night to go actually pick her up. Oh my God. I'm going to remember that. Every parent is going to remember that because you're terrified. I need to get there as quickly as I possibly can. God only knows what happened. Then on top of it, depending on where she sits on the spectrum of autism, she is also autistic. So you got to be a little worried about that too. You gotta put that in consideration here, baby. Instantly, I'm going, where's my daughter? Boom, boom, boom. Where's my autistic daughter? Where's she at? Where's she at? Where's she at? Always. At least that's just me. I mean, you know. But of course, we already heard this again, but he's like, Jay-Z calling him a 1-800 lawyer, okay? And he basically said it's over. This was over before it began because he's about to take him down. This 1-800 lawyer doesn't realize it yet, but soon he about to destroy Busby. This now you got Jay-Z thinking about him. Tony Busby's name is on the tip of this man's brain, and he going to literally wake up every day and go, how can I make this man's life a living hell today? That's literally what he's going to do. Why? Because he got long game money. You're talking about a billionaire who's got all time, nothing but time. He's got nothing but time on his hands right now and a whole lot of money. So, says here, again, Busby says he is continuing to vet her claims. Continuing to vet her claims. He should have vetted her claims before he dropped all this stuff. Before all this stuff came out. Before he pulled out Jay-Z's name and went splatter, Jay-Z. He should have done that before. But he says here, Jane Doe's case was referred to our firm by another who vetted it prior to sending it to us. Why would who are they your friends? Is that other law firm your friend, or are they the enemy? Real talk. Oh yeah, you could take this one. Yeah, go ahead, buddy. Yeah, just go ahead and take that one. We don't need that one. Why did you take it and they didn't? Did they want you to fail? Like I said, are they friends? Is that law firm friendly with y'all? Or are they the competition? Think about that. Are they the competition? Think about it. But moving on, he said this in an email. Okay. Our client remains fiercely adamant that what she has stated is true to the best of her memory. We will continue to vet her claims and collect corroborating data to the extent it exists. Because we have interrogated her intensely, she has even agreed to submit a polygraph. I've never had a client suggest that before. Doesn't matter. Polygraph ain't going to change a damn thing now. No one's going to fully believe this situation. This is bad. This is bad. In any event, he added, we always do our best to vet each claim made, just as we did in this case. This has been extremely distressing for her to the point she has experienced seizures and had to seek medical attention due to the stress. Okay, but at the same time, do we pull out the world's smallest violin playing the world's saddest song just for her because she's had medical treatment because of the stress? It doesn't change anything. You can, oh, that sucks, but you still aren't telling the truth. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, bless your heart, but you're not. Your story's inconsistent. Sorry. It doesn't change anything. It's not like suddenly, oh, she's been having seizures and distress because of this. I got to believe her now. Oh, no. All because of that. Just because of that, I got to believe everything that she said. Boom. Boom. And she's willing to do a poly. So if she's willing to do a poly, boom, it's a wrap. Nope. Sorry. That doesn't move the goalpost not even an inch. Not one iota. That's not enough. Now that we're hearing all the inconsistencies exposed by NBC News, it's going to be a very, very steep hill for her to climb. And then on top of it, her own daddy, who she puts in the paperwork, don't even remember this. And you know for a fact, wouldn't daddy sit there and go, yeah, I was there. He's not even willing to even remotely move from where he's sitting. He's just saying, I don't remember any of that. I mean, I got a lot going on, but I feel like I'd remember that, and I don't. That is massive. But like I said before, somebody said, it is what it is, just said, do the poly. Yeah, I mean, she could do the poly, but at the same time, that polygraph could mean nothing. Could mean nothing at all. She needs a psych eval. That's what I think as well. Not only does she need to do a polygraph, she needs to do a psych eval to really make sure that what she is saying is 110% truthful. Because it could be a fabrication in her own mind to the point where it's believable. She believes it in the reality of her own mind. Suddenly, she was attacked by them. Maybe she really was attacked. Remember, she may have really been attacked. But maybe it wasn't Jay-Z and Diddy and female celebrity B watching in the corner. In her mind, she could have added those faces and those names to, like I said earlier, possibly soften the blow. Or this could be a psychotic break in which, in her own mind, this crime happened, but in reality, it never did happen. That's the reason why I believe a polygraph would not work. Because in her mind, in the reality of her own mind, the reality that she's created in her mind, this incident she's already experienced in her mind, she believes that. So she's not lying when she's doing the polygraph. You see what I'm saying? Just saying. Now, I also want to say this too. When it comes to Jay-Z, when it comes to the diddler, they are still on the chopping block. This does not mean that the allegations that are apparently looming for Jay-Z and have already been out here for Diddy, it does not mean that Jay-Z's out in the clear. It doesn't mean that he's 110% innocent. It's not over yet. If there are more lawsuits that come for him, which we have heard that there may be more coming, then we will see what happens here. But I'm telling you right now, this one's not good. And I feel that this is bad for not only just the people that are already out speaking out, those accusers and victims that have been brave enough to step forward, that are actually telling the truth. This also is sad and terrible for all the people that want to step forward that have not stepped forward yet. Because now it's destroying any credibility, potential credibility for any potential victim or accuser or witness that actually wants to step forward and speak out. Now, yeah, Jay-Z, I'm sure, is doing cartwheels and doing victory laps right now because of this one. But at the same time, you got to remember, there's going to be, I mean, this may be the only lawsuit that we hear about from Jay-Z or about Jay-Z being involved. You never know. But at the same time, there are others that are allegedly coming out. And all we can do is sit down, listen to the facts, and come up with our own conclusion and hope that the lawyers that are representing them and the courts that end up taking these particular lawsuits do the proper due diligence and really look into those things before the public actually finds those holes in their stories. Those inconsistencies can be very damning for the future victims and witnesses and accusers that are still sitting on the sidelines wondering if they should file or not right now because they're scared of the ridicule and then some. And of course, powerhouses like these two. Again, this one is real. Like this one, it really just happened. Can't believe it. But at the same time, this doesn't, it's not over for Jay-Z. And it's definitely not over for Diddy. I feel like this is just the beginning for Jay-Z. Possibly. But again, I also want to say, innocent till proven guilty in a court of law. For both of them. Diddy got some smoking gun evidence that he got some things to explain. But as far as Jay-Z, I guess only time will tell. Maybe there is smoking gun evidence out there on Jay-Z. I don't know. But like I said, only time will tell with that whole situation. But with Busby, this is not good for Busby, period. This is not good for Busby at all, okay? Hold on one second. I'm just checking something here real quick. Yes. That's something okay, thank you, Wanda. I'm going to look into that. That's something I know about. Haven't talked about that one yet. That's going to be most likely a conversation we talk about in another show. But this is the main thing. Thank you in the raw. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. That's a thank you. I mean, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. You know, I love what I do. All right. And I love doing that stuff with you guys. Real talk. I love, this is fun. This is always fun. Okay. But again, like I said, guys, only time will tell with Jay-Z, with Diddy, with, I mean, shoot. Again, I will also put out here before I go and look at the super chat or the super chats. I want to say this too, because some people can also, and I'm just saying this out loud. Don't get mad at me. I'm just saying something that is very possible. All right. Because I know everybody is, all y'all are standing on one side of the fence. Either you're going or you're going boo or yeah, you know, whatever it may be. But here's something that is very, very, interesting and true. We have to remember, some of these guys could also just be guilty by association. Think about that for a second. Some of these guys could also just be guilty by association. Look at LeBron James. I feel like LeBron James might be in his fee-fees right now. He might be in his feelings right now. Just because he said, there ain't no party like a Diddy party. All of a sudden, as soon as that came out and resurfaced and been out here, everybody and their mama sitting there trying to take down LeBron James as well. The Coutures, the DiCaprios, all the people that are out here. You got to remember, some of these people could absolutely be 110% innocent. Just been in parties, in photos, have nothing to do with these things. Have nothing to do with those crazy things. But could be caught in the net, sucked into the vortex of the diddler solely because they stand next to him in a photo. Real talk. And they happen to be wearing white. Suddenly everybody's like, yeah, I seen it. I'm just saying. And I feel like until we hear more of the allegations or more of the lawsuits, et cetera, come out, I think it's best to err on the side of waiting for those things to come out, because everybody's trying to go after all these other names, and it's like, wait a second, we don't even know. Just because they're in a photo doesn't automatically mean that they out here just bumping uglies, sweating with the oldies. You know what I'm saying? Just nothing but baby oil. It's not the case. We have to keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. But I also will say, and it is what it is. You're right. I've heard nothing but one main thing, that Hollywood is dead silent right now. In fact, Hollywood is so quiet right now. There's barely any parties. There's barely any events. Everyone's scared the hell. They're scared. They're scared like crazy right now. That's all I'm hearing, is that Hollywood is just dead. There is no heartbeat in LA, in the entertainment business right now, because everyone's sitting at the edge of their seat waiting for the next shoe to drop, waiting for the next name to drop, so on and so forth. And you got to remember, you really think that these guys are just sitting on money, and they're just sitting on that money and they ain't doing nothing? These are two massive businessmen. They are both billionaires in their own right. They are doing things in the industry, in the entertainment industry, that only a few people know about. They're greenlighting movies, TV shows, networks, so on and so forth. These guys are huge And now that you have, Jay-Z now is kind of out in the clear right now. But as far as as far as Diddy locked up. He had other projects, that he was going to be on, the two green light TV shows and movies and so on and so forth. What's going on with those projects when they need that big financier for a couple $100 million or a couple hundred, $500 million for this and this, for this next Marvel movie, so on and so forth. You don't think that these guys have some sort of say or have some sort of stake in some of these projects? Yeah, a lot of them they do. So this is affecting a lot more than you think. It's not only just Hollywood elites being quiet because they're scared. They also are sitting there waiting to see what's going to happen because they have projects that were greenlit that now are at a standstill. Stop. Literally, the wind in those sails gone. They're just stuck in the middle of the ocean going, come on, just give me one gust of wind. They're actually going at the sails, trying to make this damn thing move. Seriously. So it's insane what's going on in Hollywood or in the entertainment business right now. It is at a snail crawl. And a lot of other moguls, a lot of other big names are scared too because they're worried about their names getting named in these kind of lawsuits as well. And if they really did something, those names, then justice is coming. Oh, justice is definitely coming. Just give it time. Hopefully, those particular accusers, victims, are properly vetted properly before ish hits the fan. Anyway, guys, that is the show. Oh, shoot. I keep messing that up every time. DOC, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate the super sticker. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Deborah, thank you so much for being a member for the past month. Would only take 2 hours and 10 minutes to fly Good Charlotte to New York City from Chicago. Autism is a spectrum. Please remember, it doesn't make you an idiot. Oh, abso-freaking-lutely. No. And I'm not saying anything like that. But that's a very good point. And yes, autism is most definitely a spectrum. Is definitely on the spectrum, or there's a spectrum for sure. But yeah, I am not knocking autism at all whatsoever. Not at all. But it could be a factor in the situation as well. I feel like it would be a factor if my 13-year-old daughter, who happens to be on the happens to be autistic and is on the spectrum, that would concern the hell out of me. It doesn't matter. Instantly, doesn't even matter if she's autistic or not. She's still a little gone. I'm keeping an eye on my kids. You see what I'm saying? That's all, And I don't care if they're trying to be young, wild, and free. Nah. Nah. Okay. But yeah, Good Charlotte, sure, they could have flown there and flown back. That's possible. But they were on tour, and that's what they're saying right now. Until we hear anything otherwise, that's the information we know right now. But that is a good point. It's a quick flight back and forth. But we'll see. All right. Aren't they the ones who did the Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous or something like that? Isn't that the song? Isn't that by them? Or am I wrong? Isn't that who they are? I don't know. I don't know any of that freaking stuff. Anyway, Bella Stella, thank you so much for gifting one membership. I appreciate it. Thank you so very much. And she just gave me some positivity. All I ask for you to do is pay it forward, okay? We need some more positivity in the world. Do that thing. Do that thing. Do that thing. And all is fair in love and war. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. We know that they are all guilty of crimes, but not just them. What about the top? When are they going to be exposed? In my opinion, maybe not in this life, but in the next. I think that things are slowly but surely getting exposed, but I am kind of curious about about that. There's more people above Diddy and Jay-Z. Diddy is absolutely in trouble. He is cooked. He filmed these things. Now, if Jay-Z did any type of things, which has not been proven at all, he didn't have a thing for filming these things. That's for damn sure. So we have yet to see anything of that sort. So there could be smoking gun evidence out there. I've just never seen it. And I don't know if we ever will. Okay. And again, like I said, any of the names. Some people are smart. Cover their tracks. Or by the way, just don't film everything and they just leave it in their memory box. You know what I'm saying? They just leave it in their brain for memories. They don't go and do what Diddy does and film everything. That's disgusting. Massively different types of people out here that do crimes that go, no, I'm just going to just have this for in my own brain as a memory. I'm not filming it. I'm not taking home a trophy of any kind, little trinket from them so I can remember about what I did. No, some people just do the thing and then they leave satisfied and leave it in the memory bank. And that's it. So we'll see what happens. L, what's up? Thank you so much for being a member for the past 7 months. Pascal and chat. I suffer from seizures. I must say many times what I perceive to be true, my family showed me different with home videos. Oh my. See, that is definitely an angle. Thank you, L, for sharing that with us. But that's massive, right? That could be, like I said, there's things that could be playing out in your head that are not actually true. And that is possible. Okay. Regardless if you're on the spectrum or not. All is fair. Thank you so much again. No, but the top finances, the top finances everything and the others take the fall. Yeah. I think we're all on the same page with that for sure. But again, Diddy is pretty high up. He's a billionaire as well. Now, I know that there's richer men than him for sure. And they may be a part of this whole crazy thing. I really do believe that there is a dark underbelly. There is most definitely a dark underbelly in the entertainment business or beyond and beyond, not or and beyond. But it's a matter of who is actually financing those things. And is it any connection to Diddy and others? That is something that remains to be seen. And hopefully at some point, those things get unearthed and are exposed so that we can continue to protect our loved ones and our littles, because a lot of these littles are getting thrown into this stuff and viciously victimized. It's time for a change, guys. Definitely time for a change. Anyway, guys, that's the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It means a lot, as always. It's always a blessing to talk with you guys. Real talk. So do me a favor before you head out. Hit that like button down below. Crush it. Do what it do. That would really mean the world to me. Also, I forgot. Let me end this poll as well, because it says right here. It says, hold on. So I said, do you think she's lying? Do you think Jane Doe is lying? 63% of y'all said yes. 63% of y'all said yes, you believe she's lying. And then 37% of y'all said, nah, I think she's telling the truth. Yeah. It's a crazy swing of how quickly the pendulum swings, right? Right back over to the other side of the world. Very interesting results. Hit that like button down below. Crush it. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. If you are watching on those other platforms, make sure you hit that follow button. Okay? Crush that follow button on my on Rumble, X, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Let's not forget to subscribe here on my main channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Go over to the secondary channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Go and crush that subscribe button over there as well. Hit that join button down below. Become a member of the family. Check out my Patreon and my locals, please and thank you. Check out PascalMerch.com. And I got that GoFundMe. It's pinned at the top of the chat, and it's in the description box down below if you want to support that Christmas special I'm putting together right now as we speak. Okay, guys, it is time to get going. Much love to you guys. I love you all. Have a great Saturday. make it positive, make it everything you need it to be and more. And if you are doing these holiday parties and all that stuff, please just get your butt home alive. Get an Uber, get a Lyft, get a DD. Just get your butt back home. All right? Your life, the world is a lot better with you in it than you with you not in it. I'm stuttering all over the place. You get what I'm saying, okay? Arrive alive, get your butt home. All right? Or just don't drink. How's that? You can drink when you get home. Let's keep it a bean. All right? Anyway, guys, it's time to get going. Much love to you guys. We'll be talking very, very soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. We'll talk soon. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.